Hello everyone, welcome for my new YouTube video. I'm super happy to present you today the FoilDrive and my best setup, and I'm gonna recommend you as well one FoilDrive setup. With these tools you can take like way more waves than if you do some surfoil. So that's why I'm here, because there is not a lot of information, and today I'm gonna go straight away with my setup. Just before talking about my setup, I want to give you my philosophy about the FoilDrive. So when I use the FoilDrive, I want to maximize and to use as less as I can the motor and as much as I can the foil. So I really have like a surf vision of the FoilDrive. I'm using it only like for surfing and a bit for downwind as well. I have a really like wave philosophy with this setup. I really want to adapt me to the conditions and not the reverse. So the setup that I'm gonna recommend you, they are here to forget about the motor. So I really want like a setup where I'm not using the motor at all and the remote, and I'm just cruising. So all the setup are really like for pure surfing and to be close as possible as a surf foil setup. So first about the board. Me, I have the new Boost by North. It's a trench board. So what is exactly a trench board? A trench board is where you can put the FoilDrive like inside the boards. So normally you will always have the FoilDrive up on the board, but that one was made exactly and specifically for the FoilDrive. So you really have like a hole and you just put the FoilDrive inside and can have a look, but super easy to use. And in one click I can put back the FoilDrive, and I will minimize the drag of the water hitting the FoilDrive. So I took the smallest one, the 35 liter, because as I say, I really want to be close as much as the surf foil setup. I'm normally riding a 25 liter with the surf foil, but due to the weight, I'm taking like a 35 and go less than 35 with a trench board. I'm not sure it makes sense for my vision. So for the board, Boost 35 liter trench board. So super compact. There's a new construction on the new North boards, and it's like super light. You don't feel the board at all. Like I put the mast as much forward as I can to have the center of gravity really like on the board. My front wing is gonna be around here, so it's gonna be approximately in the middle of the board. For the mast, I'm using the Integrate mast, so the carbon mast. It's a full carbon with the motor like completely integrate. So it's an 80 centimeter mast, so a bit lower than what I ride normally. I'm normally using an 85, but in few sessions you can already feel it and you are not thinking anymore about the 85. So basically I'm gonna recommend to all the people who wants to invest in the FoilDrive, the mast is also super important. I would say the board maybe not that much, but the mast is really important. If you compare that one to the old one, the aluminum one, you really have like the old one have like the motor going completely forward and you feel it. And now like it doesn't happen to me at all. So I can touch whatever, like I can touch the motor and it doesn't disturb me during the surf foil. So that's why I really recommend you, if you want to invest in the FoilDrive, if you can, like if you want to invest, wait few months to get some saves and to buy also the mast, because this setup, just the mast and the FoilDrive, you can put in kind of every board, and it's gonna be way better than if you have the aluminum, or if you have your own setup and you want to plug the motor in front. So now I'm gonna talk about which foil I'm using. So this board and this mast, that's the combo that I'm using every time for FoilDrive, for downwinds, for surf foil. I'm gonna present you 3 different setups. And that one is the one I'm using maybe 60% of the time. So we go straight away, SF 680, short fuse, C600, and the stabilizer, the 145. So with that setup, I can go in basically like, I would say like 80% of the conditions. Only when it's big, I need to change the front wing. So for me with that setup, I can fly in flat water. I have like a really easy takeoff, but also like the glide is really useful because it's a surf foil front wing. So I really use the glide as much as I can. My goal is really to use as less as I can the motor, and with that setup I can probably stay 1 hour easy, but really easy, like in the air without touching the board to the water. Just using the motor, pumping, using the motor a bit, pumping.
Here we go, 1, 2. That's it. That's it.
So that setup, it's really the one for every condition, going from a 0.3 centimeter to 1 or 1.5 meter, where I'm traveling with, because I can also do some wing foil, some downwinds, some para wings. So that's plain for everything. Now when the waves are a bit bigger, I have, basically it's almost the same, it's like a 530, so it's way smaller. I have the same stabilizer, the 145, and the subtlety, I have a longer fuse, 650. So why the longer fuse really helps me? Because I go fast, so in bigger waves between 1.5 and 2 or 2.5 meter. So I'm using that setup to be really more precise, because you have to know where you are on the foil, and when you go at high speed, it's way more difficult with a shorter fuse than a longer fuse. So with big waves, I take some longer carves, but I have the stability way more increased with the long fuse. So that's my second setup for big waves, I would say, in FoilDrive. So now I'm going to talk about the fuse that I really recommend for everyone. So if you came from surfoiling, I'm going to recommend you that one. So it's a SF930 with a long fuse, 650, and the stabilizer, the S185. So that setup is gonna give you like a really easy takeoff, but also a lot of glide, definitely. So super stable, a lot of glide, and easy to understand where you are on the mast. So easy for beginners who needs to do some FoilDrive and who wants to learn the FoilDrive. If you are really confident with that setup, if the 930 is a bit big for you, you can go for the smallest one, for the 800 or for the 680. But also, what I recommend before changing every setup, I will recommend to change only the stab or only the fuselage. So if you are feeling confident and you feel that during the turn it's not super reactive, I'm gonna recommend you to pass on the shorter fuselage, the C600. Or the second thing, if you feel when you are riding that the carve to carve is really slow, then I'm gonna recommend you to get a smaller stabilizer, so to pass on the 145 or on something smaller. So it's pretty funny, I didn't film, but I went with my best friend and he never tried the FoilDrive before. I went 2 weeks in the south of Portugal with him, and he tried exactly that setup. So the long fuse, the 930 with that board and that mast. And in exactly 2 sessions, he was able to surf the wave, to connect with the motor, and to do it like for 1 hour non-stop. The third session, he was already like feeling like, okay, I want to change something. I want to maybe change the stabilizer. So he changed for the 158. And yeah, like, I don't know how many sessions he did. Maybe in total he did like 8 or 10 sessions. And now, now he wants to buy one, because he was taking so much wave compared to the surf foil. So he was able to really understand the foil, to understand the waves, to understand the carving, the stability of the foil. So you have to see the FoilDrive as a tool. For who is that FoilDrive? I would say for people who are a bit frustrated in the water. If you don't have like 10 hours per week to spend in the water to learn how to surf foil, just take a setup and you're gonna go 1 hour per week and you're gonna progress way more than if you are doing only surf foiling. Second thing, if you have some spots super crowded of surfers or of foilers, the FoilDrive is gonna allow you to go somewhere else where nobody is. So for example, a spot a bit far outside and you just want to go and be alone in the water. This is going to allow you as well to be alone in the water. So for the conclusion, this setup is really a tool. Like, it's going to allow you to go in way more conditions, and your skills and your experience are going to grow way faster than if you are doing only like surf foil or wing foil. So the setup that I mentioned makes really the difference in the water. You can feel it that this is made for FoilDrive, that mold was made for FoilDrive, that mast was made for FoilDrive, and these foils are made for surf foils. So everything combined make for me my dream setup. I cannot show you everything but I'm gonna show you like really quick few images to show you that everything is possible with a FoilDrive. Because in Portugal, we have like some waves we are breaking super far outside, or you have some beach break, but super steep. So better to use a FoilDrive, go outside and have fun. Thanks a lot, guys. Happy New Year. I really hope to see you soon, because now it's the year where I'm gonna be focused on videos. If you are until the end, just put a comment, ask whatever you want, and I'm gonna be free to reply. Thanks to this amazing place. As you can see, there's everything to have fun in Nazaré. And see you for the next episode, maybe next week. Yoo!